and welcome aspirants. I am Pratyush and this is Sikara Academy. And today we are going to discuss about elimination method tricks for UPSC Prelims. Well guys, to tell you the fact from the very beginning, there is no substitute to hard work. And if you are an serious aspirant, then this will really help you. We're going to see some of the very important points for the elimination method, and this will be a few of those points. We'll also see the previous year questions where you can use this elimination methods and along with the technique and all. But guys, before we begin, a quick info for all of you. There is a live mentorship program going on for TSPSC 2025-2026 by our own Deepika ma'am. One-on-one live mentorship program, guys, that is actually very important for serious aspirants, because guidance is something which can take you to heights, and this is the opportunity for you, so don't miss. And along with this, we have the batches, live batches running for TSPSC Group 1 and TSPSC Group 2. And guys, you have free demo classes. You don't need to pay before. You can enroll and do the demo classes, and after that, it's your own choice. So guys, if you're interested, call on the numbers given below, and let's get started with our topic today. So, when you're using this elimination technique, remember, as I said in the beginning, if you have prior knowledge, okay, you will find many videos dedicated to this elimination technique in YouTube. But the reality is you should have some prior knowledge. You should have the basic knowledge. And if you're not having the knowledge of the NCRTs, if you're not having the knowledge of the standard books, then it is going to be very difficult. If you think you can cross the exams on the basis of elimination itself, then it's not going to work. But I hope if you're watching it, you are the one who has really worked hard for it, and now he or she needs an edge. And if you want an edge, guys, then this is it. So how are we just going to do it? We'll just see a few of the points, and we'll just start with our points. We can do it with the help of basic elimination strategy. Then we'll see what's keyword based elimination, then internal contradiction and common knowledge logic. You'll also see interrelated statement elimination, educated guessing, and then guys, use of previous year trends. This is what we'll be seeing. So let's start with the first one, basic elimination strategy. What is this basic elimination strategy? So anytime when you are in the exam hall, so you just really need to calm yourself down. I tell all the students, when you have entered, you have taken your seat, take at least 2 to 3 deep breaths, okay, where you are just you're inhaling a lot, and as slowly as you can, you have to exhale. Do it 3 times, it will really calm it. You can do it now, pause the video, do it now and see the difference yourself. And after that, you should always read the question and the options very carefully. Guys, it is not only for the elimination method, it is for your all the questions, because these are the questions which will be a make or break for you. If you can become an IAS from an aspirant, or you will remain an aspirant, it totally depends upon these questions. Totally depends upon this. So guys, that should take your 100% of focus. A laser sort of focus should be there. So that is what you have to do. And after that, obviously, you have to see if there is any incorrect, obvious incorrect, which you find based on your basic knowledge, as we'll see in this question. Okay. Which of the following rivers flow into the Bay of Bengal? Okay. Now, you have 2 important points over here. They're asking about rivers, and they are also asking about rivers which flow into the Bay of Bengal. Okay, rivers which flow into the Bay of Bengal, that is what they are asking about. So you must know one thing. You might have heard that these rivers, this Narmada, this Tapti, okay, they flow into Arabian Sea. Now again, what I said you, elimination technique will only come into the place if you have some prior basic knowledge. If you don't have any prior basic knowledge, guys, these techniques are not going to help you. So how you're going to have that prior basic knowledge? Obviously by reading the standard books, by reading the NCRTs. Okay, so if you knew, guys, this Narmada and Tapti, they are the ones who are flowing into the Arabian Sea, so you could have very easily crossed out the options with 1 and 4. Wherever you find 1 and 4, you will just cross it out, and after crossing it out, what you are left with? You are left with only one topic, one right answer, and that is 2 and 3. Okay, moving ahead, let's see keyword based elimination. What is this keyword based elimination? Sometimes you will see these very extreme words like only, always, never. These are extreme, and most of the times these are wrong. Most of the times, I again say you guys, these are not 100% scientific based techniques. These are not 100% scientific based techniques. So most of the time is the word. Don't always think that yes, there is only, always, never, so it will be incorrect. But let's see an example over here. All members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the legislative assemblies of states. That's one. The Rajya Sabha never gets dissolved. That's number 2. Okay. Now, see here what it is saying. All. It could have only just said members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the legislative assemblies of states. But here they are using this all. And if you have read about Rajya Sabha, if you know about Rajya Sabha, you must know one thing, and that one thing is that some members are nominated by the president. Okay, 12 members are nominated by who? By the president. So if the president is nominating 12 members, what does that mean? That means option number 1 is wrong. If option number 1 is wrong, so what will happen? You'll live left with B2 only, or neither 1 nor 2. Let's see the second. The Rajya Sabha never gets dissolved. Okay, obviously Rajya Sabha is permanent. You have after every 2 years 1/3 of its members retiring, but it's never dissolved. Okay, Lok Sabha can get dissolved, but Rajya Sabha not. So 2 is correct. Again, guys, what it is not purely the elimination method. It is not purely the elimination method. Rather, it is based on your prior basic knowledge. If you don't have prior basic knowledge, guys, it's not going to help you. So always remember that. Internal contradictions. Now, when options contradict each other. Okay, what is this internal contradiction? When the options are contradicting each other. Let's see. The president is bound by the advice of the cabinet. Okay, the president is bound, okay, by the advice of the cabinet. Most of the times we see this happens. Okay, president acts on the advice of the cabinet. The president can return a bill for reconsideration. Can a president return the bill for a reconsideration? Most of the times. Okay, now again, for this you must have the prior knowledge about president and his power and duties. The president has veto power over constitutional amendments. Now what it is saying? See, president cannot veto a constitutional amendment. Okay, so when you do number 3 as wrong, you will find, guys, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, because all of these contains 3 and 1 and 2. How is it contradicting? You see, the president is bound by the advice of the cabinet. He is the one who has to run the country according to the constitution, and he is somewhere the other being held by the cabinet, and there is the legislator, there is the executive, there is the judiciary for all the other works. So what do we find? We find that the president don't have the veto power. For this also to work, guys, you need to have the basic knowledge. And I'll again say to you that it is really very important that you have the basic knowledge. Now, common knowledge or logic or the current affairs part. Okay, like right now we will see, guys, that you will have oxygen. About the oxygen, this question is, let's see. Which of the following are greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, oxygen. If you don't know about carbon dioxide and methane or anything else, you must know oxygen cannot be. Oxygen cannot be. That is something which you should always remember. Oxygen cannot be. When oxygen cannot be, you should eliminate wherever you have 4. Now you are left with what? 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, you are left with what? 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3. So if you knew about oxygen not being a greenhouse gas, at least you will be left with only 2 points. Okay, so now your probability of getting it right is 50%. Okay, before it was much lesser than that. So that is what is done with this elimination method. Well, the right answer over here is obviously number B. Now, interrelated statement or elimination. What is this? One being false affect the other also. Let's see, ozone layer is not in the troposphere. The ozone layer is found in the troposphere. We know it is not in the troposphere. You must know where is the ozone layer found. And the ozone layer protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation. Yes, ozone layer protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation. Okay. So what we find in this case? Ozone in stratosphere, statement 2 is true. Okay, so in these cases you must have that prior knowledge, and if you are having that prior knowledge, you can use the elimination method. Like this only you can go with the educated guessing, where you have the options like only. Okay, so wherever you find guys this only, avoid options with that. Go with more moderate or qualified statement. Choose the more balanced or less extreme statement. And use of previous year trends. We will see some of the previous year trends and the factual statements and all. Let's see. So what was the summary, guys? I'll just zoom it for you. Okay, so obvious error elimination, remove clearly false statements. Then keyword trap elimination, where you should watch for extreme words. Contradiction method, opposite statement both be true. Common sense logic, use general awareness logic. Statement dependency, if one fails the other two. Option guessing, choose balanced over extreme options. Trend analysis, that is for the UPSC previous year questions. Okay, now let's see few of the questions. With reference to the Rowlatt Act, consider the following statement. If you remember Rowlatt Act, something which is known as the black law or the Kala Kanun. Okay, where you have no appeal, no dalil, no wakil. It allowed the British government to imprison people without trial. Okay, if you know anything about the black law, if you know anything about the Rowlatt Act, it said कि कोई appeal, कोई dalil नहीं होगी. Okay, so no trials were allowed. So this is right. It was passed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now this is something which you should understand. Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened, guys, because the people like Satyapal and like Mr. Kichlu were arrested, the Punjab leaders. And after the Punjab leaders were arrested, there was this martial law imposed on the 11th April 1919, and on 13th of April 1919, because there was Baisakhi and people did not know that martial law was implemented, they went into Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate over there, and there General Dyer gave the order to shoot them. So we find Jallianwala Bagh massacre was something which happened after the protest that were erupting on the Rowlatt Act. So number 2, it was passed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? No, it was passed before the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Okay, now if you know number 2, wherever you find number 2, just cancel that out. Wherever you find number 2, just cancel that out. Now if you know it was opposed by Mahatma Gandhi, if you don't know it was opposed by Mahatma Gandhi, if you know that people would get arrested without trial, or it is right or wrong, but if you know number 2, you could have easily solved it and got the right answer over here. You can go and see this explanation also here, guys. Okay, so let's see the next question. Which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of the Buddha? Now again, something where you need this common sense of yours. Okay, how we are going to see this? Now see, you have Avanti, you have Gandhara, you have Koshal, you have Magad. Magad means the Bodh Gaya, the Bihar. Okay, Koshal is where he has spent his time. If you just see, Buddha attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya. That is Magadha. If you know, then obviously that will give you an age. Now, statement 3, Kosala. Buddha spent much of his life in Sravasti, that is the capital of Kosala. So, 3 is also correct. Now, if you have 3 and 4, okay, now you have to see with that. Along with that, remember, Avanti had never had any major connections with Buddha's life. But once again, we will see. If you see this part, guys, Magad, which of the following were associated with the life of Buddha? We saw that Magad was associated. We saw that Kosal was associated. Both of them, these were associated. If both of these were associated, so you need to see that wherever you have 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, so you don't have 3 and 4 over here, 2 and 4 you don't have over here, 3 and 4 you have here, and you have 1, 3 and 4. But Avanti, you never find the reference of Avanti. Okay, so you have to cross out 1. So here what you need to know, you need to know about 1, you also need to know about 3 and 4. If you know, again the case in the elimination method, basic prior knowledge, prior basic knowledge, if you are having it, then only you are going to succeed, or else you are not going to succeed in it. Let's see one of the last questions now. Consider the following statement about Indian National Congress. INC was formed with the approval of Lord Dufferin. Yes or no? We'll see. A.O. Hume was the first president of the INC. Now we just think that you will remember W.C. Banerjee was the one. W.C. Banerjee was the one. So if we see number 2 is wrong, if we see number 2 is wrong, so we have 1 only, 1 and 3 only. Okay, the INC initially had both moderates and extremists as its members. When Congress was found in 1885, there were no moderates separately and no extremists separately. Rather, it was something which happened after the partition of Bengal in 1905, and then we have the split in Congress in 1907 session. We have this split. So the INC initially had both moderates and extremists as its member. No, initially did not had. So guys, we have seen number 2 is wrong, number 3 is wrong. So wherever you have 2 and 3, just cancel that out, and cancelling that out, you are left with only 1, that is INC was formed with Lord Dufferin's support. Okay, so that was it, guys. Again, before going, I'll just say you one thing. If you are a serious aspirant, and you must know in your eyes, in your own sense, if you have covered the complete syllabus, if you know what your syllabus is, if you have gone through the previous year questions, if you have seen all the trends and everything else, then guys, you are a serious aspirant and you must have the basic knowledge. And if you have the basic knowledge, that is what is required for this elimination technique. I wish you all the very best for your exams. And guys, forget not, it's your life, and either you make it or break it. Keep preparing for success, guys. We'll meet again.